Hi, everyone, and welcome to Thriving Thursday. We are going to be talking today about better health in 2021. And persons joining me, we have Erin Brown and Dr. Rolle, Adderley. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. Happy New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Can you believe it? We made it to the end of 2020.
The countdown is on.
Hi, Dr. Kitty.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
All right.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. I had to adjust my Wi-Fi, but we're good. Can you hear me?
Yes. Wonderful.
Perfect.
So for those who don't know us ladies, I'm Dr. Tracey King, clinical psychologist and owner of Thriving Haven. And I'm just gonna let these lovely ladies introduce themselves and all the wonderful work that they're doing. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump right in. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the first step into 2021 where we are thriving in our health, where we are moving from surviving and striving to thriving. And my name is Erin Brown. I am a disability inclusion consultant with Erin Brown Connects Disability Advocacy and Inclusion Management, and also at the University of the Bahamas in the Office of Disabilities and Compliance. So my role in Thriving Thursdays is to make sure that we are absolutely inclusive, that we increase access and inclusion and opportunities for our members in our society that lives with a disability, because it can be any one of us.
Great. So I am Dr. Rolle Adderley, physiotherapist. Wear many hats, but I am the owner and senior physiotherapist at Handling Your Health, Wellness, and Rehab in Nassau, Bahamas, and beyond, because we offer telehealth as well. But I also serve as lead for the Healthy Bahamas Coalition, which is a public-private partnership where we're focusing on eradicating non-communicable diseases throughout the Bahamas and throughout the Caribbean. And it's just been an awesome pleasure to serve and do what I do. I absolutely love helping people operate at their maximum function. And we're here just to make sure that you have access to good information, good advice, and support. So we look forward to more sessions and sharing with you. And like Erin said, this is a great start to 2021.
It is. I am so happy to be doing this live with such wonderful women, because the focus this year is going to be on health. Just kind of bringing to the forefront, not only talking about our physical health, but also our mental health. And Thriving Thursdays is going to be a day that we can just highlight. How do we thrive in this difficult time that we find ourselves in? We were hoping that the pandemic would be done before the end of 2020. And it looks like we're starting 2021 with COVID-19 still, which means that this is the new normal that we're going to be with for maybe a little bit longer than we want, and just finding ways to thrive overall. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for 2021. Not gonna say that I missed 2020 all that much, but looking forward to doing some wonderful things in 2021, and learning how to just create a new normal and continue on in this journey of being creative and thriving in everything. So I guess we can talk about health in general. You know, we are all ladies dealing with health. We're connected. And for me, I'm more specifically for the mental health.
Yes.
And I can't tell you, I love talking about mental health. So please forgive me if I go on these long tangents. Um, it's just very, very important. And I guess to start this, it's kind of interesting that we're doing it on the end of 2020 and starting this on 2021, having this conversation about health and recognizing for me, my intentional goal for 2021, and I think it's been my intentional goal for quite a while, is really bringing more awareness to mental health issues and recognizing that we can't separate physical and mental health, that we need to have more and more conversations about mental as well as physical health. And there's this saying that there is no health without mental health. And I'm hoping that in 2021, that we continue to strive to put the importance of mental health closer to physical health, and that we have more and more conversations to really invest more in mental health and to create a platform for persons to talk about it and to be okay to have these conversations. So that's going to be my platform, talking about mental health all the way through from 2021. So hold on to your seats, your phones, your laptops, your whatever it is. It's not going to be blowing up.
365 days, Thriving Thursday is coming in to where you're at. And I love what you're saying, Tracey, Dr. Tracey, because when you say new norm, it makes me smile every time I hear somebody say a new norm. And that's because normal isn't really normal for many persons. And so what 2020 did for us, it kind of made us realize or acknowledge what our baseline was, meaning what we absolutely need, what we can live without. And for our community with disabilities, I must say that 2020, for eons, our community have been bombarded with what you can do, you can't do, when you can do it, where you can go, where you can't go. And then in 2020 with the pandemic, and the whole entire planet, the global world and citizens got a taste of that daily pill that we have been living for eons. And that's when we started to recognize, wait a minute, maybe our normal isn't really the normal. And then the conversation shifted. We started to pivot a bit more. What it also provided us with an opportunity not only to talk about access and inclusion, but to dive more deeply into mental health. Because when we started to now have things removed from us that we leaned so heavily on without even considering what it meant to live with or without it, but when we were spun so suddenly, it was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? What do you mean I don't get to go to work? What do you mean my kid's home with me while I'm trying to do work? How am I going to do this? And so this is such a wonderful opportunity. We know that during this time, you usually see the hashtags, new you, new me, or new year, new me, and all of that, New Year's resolutions. And so we don't want you to close out 2020 by just washing it away and forgetting about it. We know that we are losing our loved ones. We know that we're dealing with a lot of grief. We're dealing with a lot of lack. We're dealing with a lot of what ifs. But we are here tonight. We are here, whether it's day or night, wherever you are watching this, we are here to say to you that we will move forward in thriving. That is the importance of this. Us three, 1, 2, 3, we represent different areas and facets of our lives. And we are here for you not only to pick our brains, but we are here to give you a safe space to have the conversation and to say it's okay not to be okay.
That is awesome, Erin. And I'm glad that I'm going last, because as physios, we always tie up the loose ends. And, you know, Dr. Tracey started off talking about the importance of mental health and mental wellness. I don't even separate it anymore. I consider myself a holistic physical therapist. My approach is holistic. So we talk about the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical. You may come to me for a physical issue, a dysfunction, but I have to understand how those other spectrums, how those other parts fit together and impact your physical ability, because that's going to determine, one, what I have to work with, and two, what are our goals realistically going to be. You know, 2020 was a different kind of year. Like you said, Erin, we had so many restrictions put on us. Basic needs were restricted. We had patients that couldn't get to screenings. I'm an oncology rehab physiotherapist, and there were patients that could not get to their chemotherapy for whatever reasons. There may have been somebody living outside of the jurisdiction in another island, and they didn't have access to their chemotherapy, you know, and so these are things, that's an extreme, but we think about the woman that may not have had a pap smear or a mammogram. We think about the men that may not have had a PSA test done that are considered high risk. We think about those of us that are over 45 or 40, depending on our risk factors, that have not had a colonoscopy. How many of us missed these regular screenings, right? We miss these screenings, so we don't know what our numbers are. And as a physiotherapist, I always stress, know what your numbers are. I see you after you've had a massive heart attack. I see you after you've had a stroke, because we didn't pay attention to blood glucose levels. We didn't pay attention to your blood pressure levels. And so the importance for me to tie it all in, to make sure that I have people mentally aware, emotionally tuned in, and physically capable to do what they have to do, is so important to me. So we're going to knit all of this together. I'm so proud of this group that we have, and we have so much to share. And what I love about it is not just the fact that we have so much to share, but we're passionate about it. We just don't do it because this is our career. We do it because we're very passionate. We see the lack, we see the need, but we see the potential of what we can bring to our nation and beyond our nation, right? We're based in the Bahamas, but this is live on the internet. And we hope that we inspire people in the nation and people outside of the nation, and not just the patients we're talking to, but the professionals who can do more, reach more, touch more. And I'm going to rope it in because Tracey thinks she can talk, I can talk. But we just want you to understand what we have in store for you this year. We're tired of having our little conversations in silos, so we're roping it all in. We're putting it in one space, and we do not want this to be a one-way conversation. We can come on this and we can talk to you all we want, but what we want is we want to make sure that we meet the needs that you may have, because we think we know enough, but we may be missing the critical points that you have not had addressed this year and that you want addressed in 2021, and this is what we're here for.
Yes, yes.
I think what 2020 has really, for me, driven home is the fact that we need to stay connected, that things have changed. We have gone through things. Our whole way of life has shifted to the point that we have to physically distance ourselves, and recognizing that we have to be creative. Like, telehealth existed, but telehealth blew up in 2020. Zoom existed, but Zoom blew up in 2020, because we are recognizing that in this situation, we have to remain connected. And this platform helps us to share and to have a safe space to be talking about these issues and to be connecting with each other about a variety of things, whether it's physical, mental health, or just what's happening. And so I am grateful for having this wonderful group of women to be able to talk about, like, you know, just being passionate about these things and recognizing that what we're going through, other persons are going through, and recognizing that in all of this, we can find a connection, that we can share our expertise, share what we're feeling, share how we, you know, tips on how we navigating through all of this. And so I'm so happy that we are able just to have this platform, to do a Facebook Live, to be able to have these conversations. And again, this is something that's going to happen throughout the year. So we're ending 2020 on this, but we're also starting 2021 in this particular platform so that we continue having these conversations, important conversations. I know this year, I've been talking about mental health, and I've seen it in the numbers and in the research that has come out talking about the impact. And of course, I'm going to be talking about mental health right now because that's my thing. About the mental health component, and it has impacted mental illnesses. Persons that have had mental illnesses, it exacerbated it. Those persons that may not have had it started to develop mental health issues. We've seen an increase in a variety of mental health issues, domestic violence, substance use, anxiety, depression, even suicidal thoughts, and even attempts. And so it is important that as we continue on this journey, that we recognize that we pay and highlight some of these important aspects so that persons that may be dealing with it or may know someone that may be dealing with it can reach out or at least hear a tip or understand what may be happening in these particular situations. Because a lot of things that people don't understand about mental health causes the stigma to remain, causes misconceptions. And I believe in conversations. And therefore, the more conversations that we have, the more understanding that we can develop in recognizing that a mental illness is not something that we need to stay away from or not talk about, because we need to understand. We need to make sure that persons that are not feeling okay, that they feel good enough or safe enough to be able to share with other persons that they're not doing well, that they're struggling, instead of sitting there suffering in the silence. We need to talk about increased access to mental health issues. So I'm really gonna tear down the veil and really start talking about some of these things, because it's essential that we continue to have these conversations, very important conversations, because mental illness does not just affect one person. It affects the family, it affects the friends, and it affects society in general. So we need to really start focusing on these particular issues, and not just focus on it, but address it. Because, we talk about we can talk and talk and talk and talk. Let's put some action behind the talk. So I'm looking forward to having conversations with persons that are willing, and I'm going to strongly encourage, using the wink wink, strongly encourage action behind the talk in 2021.
Well, Dr. Tracey, what I can say why this is such a timely movement space that we have decided to purposely and intentfully make. And it's because mental health intersects all of our lives, like you said. It intersects everything that we do, what we think, how we create, how we move. And it is a two-way street. And so we definitely going to have moments where we're going to ask a question. You may come on to our site, to Thriving Havens site, and you're going to see a question maybe asking you, so how are you today? What did you do today to increase your mental health? Or how do you feel? And these are important. And trust me, you do not have to post on the actual post. You can inbox. You can ask any questions, because this is a safe space. We do understand that in the beginning, you kind of feel like, okay, who's looking at these posts while I'm looking at these posts? That's okay. That's normal. What we want to encourage is we're going to share. As you can tell, we don't have a problem with sharing. But what we do want to encourage is that conversation. And that comes in many different ways. As Dr. Tracey told you about mental health and increasing access, you're going to hear more about the tips of how persons, caregivers, person support networks, persons dealing with or living independently with a disability. You're going to hear a lot of information. But at the same time, like Dr. Adderley said, or we call her Dr. Kitty, she is going to tie it in, because we have to consider our foods. We have to consider our movements. We have to consider these things, because we are a whole person. Now listen, we're going to come 30 minutes every Thursday. 30 minutes every Thursday. Don't think that, well,
every Thursday.
Well, you know what? I said it. Every Thursday, but it might not be every Thursday, but it will be a thriving Thursday when we are on our platform, because mental health does not take a break. It just doesn't. And so we are ready and we are prepared to ensure that this dialogue continues and we build you up. So one of my main questions that I would love to throw there right now when you watch this replay, and like I said, we're talking about the New Year's resolution, just name one. Pick one. Well, two, because number one is you. Your number one New Year's resolution is a better and healthier you. So number two, I don't give you one for free. You see how that works? So number two, pick another one, speaking about what you're going to do during 2021, because we're here to help you. We're here to help you break through that and move forward in thriving.
Yes. Dr. Kitty, you want to add to that? Because you always tie it up and
I know, right? She's so awesome at that. We got about 3 to 4 minutes. Watch this magic, y'all.
Not a lot of magic at all. I just want people to understand that we're here for you. We want to bring it to you. We want to connect with our community. We want to engage. We want you to know that you have good, credible resources out here. There's lots of noise in the market. Everybody's been going to Google and getting their ideas and their concepts. We don't know all the answers, but we can tell you that you have some sound people here with good training, good education, and good connections. Because if we don't know the answer, I guarantee you there's somebody in our network we can get the answer to. Community engagement is so important. Dr. Tracey mentioned before, the most important thing, or one of the most important things that came out during COVID was the need to stay connected, and we want to stay connected to you. We don't want you to be sick to reach out. We're talking about health and wellness, not sickness. We're trying to eradicate sickness. And so if we have these conversations of wellness and thriving now, then the conversations of sickness should lessen. We want to empower you. We want to healthier you, okay? And so this is what we're here for. There's a wide spectrum that's available. Ask your questions. Erin said, if you don't want to put it in the comments below, we want you to put it in the comments below. At least like it so we know that we're on the right track. But if you feel that this is too private and too intimate, please inbox any one of us. It is a safe space, but we cannot meet your needs if we don't know what your needs are. And we are very intentional about what we're doing, because we can do this on a conversation on our own. Trust me, we have multiple conversations, but we decided now that we're going to make ourselves accessible. We're going to help connect. We're going to help educate, engage, and keep people in a safe, healthy space.
Yes. And before we go, I want to also state, if you need any accessible features, such as closed captioning, such as ASL interpretation, please inbox or put underneath the comments. Let us know what you need. Once again, if we don't know, we won't be able to, because those are very specific needs that we're able to meet once we know, okay?
So I'm just going to say the last thing on this particular segment is Happy New Year. New year, new possibilities. Be intentional in this 2021 to remind yourself that it's not the wound talking, but it's the thriving talk that we need to have in 2021. To move forward, to look from a place of strength and empowerment. And that's kind of where Thriving Thursdays is all about, recognizing that in the midst of everything that we can thrive, that we can succeed in the midst of everything that we're going through. Any last comments, ladies?
Yeah, it begins with you. I just wanted to make sure I tap that off by your accountability, you showing up for yourself, you focusing and being intentful in your movements and your actions and your decisions are going to make 2021 soar in ways you cannot imagine.
Dr. Kitty?
And all I'm going to say is, if you're here right now, that means you survived 2020. So we're going to move from survival mode to thriving mode. So please stay engaged I applaud you. I'm so proud of you. I know it was a difficult year, but we made it. And 2021, we're going to put all our efforts into making it the best year yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Signing off.
See all of you, and please share the information. We're going to be back next Thursday, same time. So look forward to seeing all of you or engaging with all of you on Facebook Live. Have a wonderful, safe New Year Eve and a wonderful New Year's Day.
Yes,
Bye.
7 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone.
Bye.